Hi, today is Wednesday, November 29th, 2023. Last night, about 6 hours ago, they said the Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, was chosen as the host city for the Expo 2023 World Fair, and I am very happy for them. And also, cheers and kudos. Uh, my cheers and kudos go to Busan, Korea. Korea is my country, so I really console Busan on their failure to beating failure on beating the hostship for the Expo 2030. They did a good job, but obviously the playing ground was not level. It was tilted towards the Riyadh, Saudi Arabia from the early on, but they misled the local media opinion, saying that Korea is the strong contender for the hostship, which turned out to be not true, but rather the other way around. Saudi Arabia got 117 votes, while Korea got only 29, and Rome only 17. So I really congratulate on Saudi Arabia for their successful bidding. So there was no bullshit on the Saudi Arabian part. Speaking of bullshit or fallacies, let's find out why the Bible is reliable. This article is from willsurely.com. There are many articles and videos about the Bible bullshit or Bible fallacies or Bible errors, but this article seems to uh, probably rebut their claims and tries to explain to us the reliability of the Bible. I've never read this article. I just checked out the length of the article for my daily English reading. Yes, I decided to read an English article for 20 to 30 minutes each day. So it has been my habit to do so, and this article is one of the materials that I chose. Okay, so it's a double beveled edge, double beveled knife of my own. The one bevel is to learn something about something, everything, and the other bevel, the other edge, is to practice English by reading it aloud. So it's a purely academic and knowledge-based effort on my part, and no other shenanigans. So I will let's dive in and learn why Bible is reliable. God will. This article is from willsurely.com, and the title is God will surely come to your aid. That's good. But rather, I wish God is around me all the time, 24 by 7, not when I fall to danger. I wish God is always around me, not God will surely come to your aid. Bible reliability. The Bible consists of 66 books. Why 66, right? Not 67 or 65 or 73. 66 books written over 1500 years or thereabouts in three different languages: Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek on three continents: Asia, Africa, and Europe. So 66 books written over 1500 years or thereabouts, not just 1 year, not when Jesus died. Thematic consistency. The Bible has over 40 authors, 40 authors, including kings, peasants, fishers, poets, politicians, scholars, a shepherd, a military general, a cupbearer, a doctor, a tax collector, and a rabbi, even peasants. These writers included murderers, adulterers, human rights abusers, traitors, and whiners. Really? I thought this article is from the church authority. I just pulled this off to have a balanced view about the Christianity and the Bible, but this article from the start sounds like it isn't, right? The Bible has over 40 authors, including kings, peasants. These writers included murderers, adulterers, human rights abusers, traitors, and whining. Each wrote under different circumstances, from the battlefield of prison to palace living. The Bible is a collection of letters, sermons, laws, poetry, history, prayers, praise, practical sayings, and prophecies. It covers a variety of subjects, including the existence, attributes, and works of God, the nature of his relationship with the world, the creation of the universe, the corruption of man and the earth, the meaning and purpose of life, and the ultimate destiny of humanity. Its many historical and geographical references validate its accuracy. New Old Testament writers knew their co-authors, and each succeeding scribe could read the books previously written, but none of them could have known what the New Testament authors would write. The New Testament writers could read the Old Testament books, and many knew each other, but the earliest scribes could not have known what later authors would write. Only John, one of the original 12 disciples and the author of Revelation, the youngest book in the Bible, could have read all of the early Old and New Testament books. Despite these timing differences, the diversity of authorship and topics, the variations in structure and writing styles, and the complexity of the subject matter, the Old and New Testaments complement and complete each other. Both Testaments provide a continuous and harmonious account of God's dealings with humankind without contradiction, because they are the product of a single mind. The Old and New Testaments were divinely inspired and therefore inerrant in their original writings. God did not move the pens of entranced authors. Instead, he enlightened the writers on many levels, built his message into their lives, and motivated them to record it. Each Bible verse has equal merit. Some editions print the New Testament words of Jesus in red ink, which may lead readers to assume they are holier than other verses. This assumption is incorrect. The entire Bible is sacred. Preservation and assembly. In the centuries before the birth of Jesus, the Old Testament was maintained by a group of specially trained artisans who used exacting techniques to precisely copy every detail of the previous edition and double-check the latest version. Assembly of the New Testament began soon after the apostles started writing. Its final configuration was established a few decades after John wrote Revelation. The criterion for including or excluding particular texts was whether the authors were contemporary witnesses of the events they described. The thematic and prophetic consistency of both testaments evidences divine oversight of the preservation and assembly processes oversight. Consistent topics. As with other ancient writings, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, Caesar, etc., the original Old and New Testament documents have disintegrated into dust. All that remains are copies of the original manuscripts. Wow, so the original Old and New Testament documents have disintegrated into dust. All that remains are copies of the original manuscripts. The Bible we read today has been reconstructed from these copies. Reconstructed. The underlying accuracy and reliability of these copies relative to the original manuscripts is a function of three texts. How close to the time of the original writings can we date them? How many copies do we have? And how consistent is the text from one document to another? By these measures, the Bible is the most reliable text of the ancient writings, including the books central to other major religions. We have thousands of partial and complete copies of the Old and New Testaments, many more than the ancient texts written by others. Moreover, portions of the New Testament copies can be dated within a few decades of the actual events, a gap that beats the other aged writings by hundreds of years. There is remarkable consistency in these copies, which assures us that the New Testament we read today is a faithful rendition of the original scripts. No amendments or additions. Some people believe the Bible is incomplete. They claim God amended the original biblical teachings through subsequent revelations to more recent authors. Jesus declared the Old Testament complete and accurate. His deity validates this representation. The book of Revelation explicitly states that it is the final written word from God, and no further elaboration would be forthcoming. Its prophetic fulfillments, which are currently in process, validate this pronouncement. Some critics say that other gospels, such as those supposedly written by Judas and Thomas, are as valid as those written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. However, the textual reliability of these other gospels does not hold up under scrutiny. No contradictions. Other critics contend the Bible is full of contradictions. There are none. Some purported inconsistencies take verses out of context. Some purported inconsistencies take verses out of context. Others reflect doctrinal misunderstandings or incorrect assumptions about historical context. Some Bible passages appear contradictory due to the limitations inherent in translation. For example, the original Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek writings include over 11,000 words. The typical English translation has about 6,000 words. The Gospel passages, some deem contradictory, are actually complementary, describing the same event from different perspectives. Why? Why different perspectives, man? When the verse is verses are quite easy to understand. These seeming contradictions prove there was no corroboration between the gospel writers, no hoaxes. Some skeptics question the credibility of the 4 New Testament Gospels by contending that the miracles Jesus performed were hoaxes. Jesus performed his miracles publicly. They were seen by believers and unbelievers alike. The Jewish religious leaders and Roman government officials would have gladly exposed any hoax that discredited the Gospels, but they could not deny that the miracles occurred. The enduring credibility of the 4 Gospels in light of this active opposition and the lack of any contemporaneous refutations that would have been widely disseminated gives us confidence that Jesus performed miracles. Well, what if Jesus really didn't perform miracles and the writings in the Bible were made like 315 years later? Someone could put the miracle stories in the Bible and no one would repudiate about that. Refute that because, it's already 4 centuries later and no one can gain from refuting the claims. Bible translations. We have many Bible translations to choose from. Why do they differ? The primary reason is they were produced at different times, decades apart, sometimes centuries. Languages constantly evolve. Words fall into disuse. New ones are invented and the meanings of others morph. Translators consider these changes when producing a new Bible version for their generation. For example, the King James Bible was originally produced in the 1600s. That is why its readability differs so much from newer translations. The verses quoted on this website are from the New International Version of the Bible. The Will Surely Project. The Will Surely Project is a campaign to raise awareness about the certainty of God's promise to help hurting people as they walk in harmony with. The Will Surely Store, Will Surely for skeptics, existence of God. So there are many articles by Will Surely for skeptics, existence of God, uniqueness of Jesus, virgin birth of Jesus, resurrection of Jesus, reliable Bible reliability, inspiration of Scripture, God and science, the Big Bang, age of the earth, source of life, evolution of species, Bible references, God's promise, all other topics, level 1 menu, briefcase, promise basics, soulful aid, redemptive good, our part, calibrating expectations, true contentment, surviving affliction, level 2 menu, so 201 from 101. Why we suffer, why we distrust God, the God to trust, what to expect from God for skeptics, promise, backstory, assorted topics, Bible references, God's promise, all other topics, the Will Surely Store product page. The Will Surely Project is a campaign to raise awareness about the certainty of God's promise to helping hurting people as they walk in harmony with Him. The Will Surely Project. Thanks for listening. I have to go to work now. Bye-bye.